araticus. Lupinus araticus. Okay, it is the plant. Common name is lupine. Lupine, and they have recorded how much years you can just imagine, that is 10,000 years of dormancy. What is that? This is 10,000 years of dormancy. This is oldest one. Okay, and recently it is recorded 2,000-year old. Recently it is recorded 2,000-year old date palm. Date palm. Okay, recently it is, and that botanical name is Phoenix dactylifera. So this is Phoenix dactylifera. So these two examples we have to remember. 2,000 years old, that is date palm, Phoenix dactylifera, and oldest, that is recorded Lupinus araticus, lupine plant, that is 10,000 years of dormancy. So these two you have to remember under seed viability. These two questions are mostly I have seen. Okay. Next we have to see, what do you mean by tiny seeds? Next is tiny seeds. As the name suggests, tiny seeds means the number of seeds is very much high but having very reduced size. What we can say, the number of seeds in a fruit, the number of seeds in a fruit is very small sized, very small sized, okay, in an ovary. Okay, what we can say, present in ovule of an ovary. Okay, so these, the number of seeds in a fruit is very small size present in ovule of an ovary, known as tiny seeds. Okay, what is that is? That is known as tiny seeds. Now, here example is important. For example, orchids. For example, orchids that contain thousands of tiny seeds. Some parasitic species like Orobenci, okay, like Orobenci and striga. So another example is parasitic species, Orobenci and striga. Orobenci and striga. These also contain what? Tiny seeds. So these examples we have to only remember under tiny seeds. Okay. Now, first we discussed endosperm post fertilization events. First we discussed endosperm development, then embryo development, then seed formation. Now we have to see last, that is a fruit. Okay, what we have to see? Fruit development. So last is fruit development. What we seen? Ripened ovule becomes seed. So here, after fertilization, ripened ovary is known as fruit. Okay. So after fertilization, ripened ovary, ripened ovary becomes fruit. Okay, ripened ovary becomes what? Fruit. Okay. Now, this ovary wall known as pericarp. Okay, so what we can say? The ovary wall, the ovary form fruit. Ovary wall form fruit cover known as pericarp. And this is having three constituents, having three. One is epicarp, one is mesocarp, and one is endocarp. So three are there: epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp, that forming fruit covering pericarp. Ovary wall forms what? Pericarp, and ripened ovary becomes what? Fruit. Now, next we have to see that these fruits are having some types, like true fruit, like false fruit, like parthenocarpic fruit. Okay, so fruits, types of fruits. Here, first type is true, true fruit. Now, true fruit means what? The fruit which develops from ovary. Okay, so what we can say? The fruit which develops from ovary is known as true fruit. What is known as true fruit? From where it develops? Ovary. For example, mango, guava. Okay, so for example, mango, guava, etc. Okay. Second type is there, that is known as a false fruit. False fruit. Why we are telling false fruit means it develops apart from ovary. Okay. So what happens apart from ovary means in some cases thalamus develops, in some cases other floral parts like inflorescence develop. Okay. So in some cases thalamus and other floral parts develops into fruit, and hence known as, means apart from ovary, we can say what? Apart from ovary, and hence known as false fruit. Okay, for example, apple, strawberry, etc. Okay, so these two develop from fertilization. If what happens without the process of fertilization develops, that is known as parthenocarpic fruit. So what we have to see next? Parthenocarpic fruits. parthenocarpic fruits. Here what we can say, parthenocarpic fruit means what? When fruit develops without the process of fertilization. When fruit develops without the process of fertilization. Okay, when fruit develop without the process of fertilization, these fruits are called parthenocarp. These fruits are called parthenocarpic. Now what happens? Since no fertilization occurs, and hence these fruits are seedless. This you have to remember. First is without fertilization. First is without fertilization, and second is these parthenocarpic fruits are seedless. For example, where we can see that? Banana, seedless grapes, etc. Okay, so these are parthenocarpic fruit. Okay, now next we have to see what? Apomixis. Now here fruit develops without fertilization, what we called parthenocarpic. If a seed develop without fertilization, that is known as apomixis. Okay, so we have to see apomixis. Apomixis. What we can say? In general, what happens? Seeds develop from fertilization. So what we can say? In general, seeds are product of fertilization. Okay, seeds are product of fertilization. General condition what we are saying. But few flowering plants such as Asteraceae family, grasses, okay, few flowering plants such as grasses, Asteraceae family seeds develop without fertilization. Without fertilization, and process known as apomixis. Apomixis. So what are that example? Apomictic. One is grasses and one is Asteraceae family, and process known as apomixis. Now this is a mimics, means they are looking like. Okay, so this mimics sexual reproduction. Question are asking that apomixis, it mimics sexual reproduction. This line you have to remember. It mimics sexual reproduction. This is very important. Okay, which process mimics sexual reproduction? So that is apomixis. Apomixis means if seeds develop without fertilization. fertilization. Next, we have to see next class types of apomixis and then polyembryony. Then we will start with genetics. Okay.